I had a really great conversation with a prospect this morning about helping this firm build the confident presence of its doers, helping them become better sellers. And my prospect was the marketing leader. She is fully ready to say yes, but she doesn't have the decision-making ability. She needs to bring her senior level principals into the conversation. And she told me that these senior level decision makers are slow to make decisions. They suffer from analysis paralysis, which you might be familiar with. Maybe you are a slow decider, or maybe you work with folks who are slow deciders. I personally am a slow decider. So it inspired me to want to create a vlog post about how to work with people who are slow to make a decision. So the thing about analysis paralysis is really what's at the core of it is anxiety. People don't want to make the wrong decision. They don't want to make their situation worse. And it's very easy for anxiety to get in the way of any possibility of hope. So when you are talking to somebody who is slow to decide, there are a few steps that I want to recommend that you take. First of all, internally at least, recognize this person's anxiety. Acknowledge to yourself, oh, there is some hesitation here. This is an emotional thing getting in this person's way. Second thing is, if you have a good relationship with this person, I think it's a good idea to acknowledge that anxiety. You can say, hey, I totally get it. It's totally reasonable that you're nervous about making this decision. Then the third step is to see if you can create an argument for getting past this anxiety. So for people who suffer from analysis paralysis, there is some amount of good that they recognize, either consciously or otherwise, out of not doing anything. At least the situation won't get worse if I don't do anything, or at least that's the imagined concept. If I don't do anything, if I don't make a decision, then my situation won't get worse. You could make an argument that it could get worse. You could also make an argument that the situation is actually worse than they think it is, which of course could have the effect of amping up the anxiety. But don't stop there. Once you communicate really what the current situation is, or once you maybe collaborate on discussing what the current situation is, see if you can visit the possible future. If things get better, sales are happening more quickly, more consistently, more predictably. And it's because everybody on the team is participating in business development one way or another. Everybody knows how to communicate our value. Everybody knows where to go to interact with prospects. Everybody knows how to introduce themselves, how to start relationships with qualified prospects. Everybody knows how to qualify prospects. Everybody knows how to lead a business development conversation that moves things forward, that identifies opportunities out there and moves things toward those opportunities. You can describe a better situation that they want. Now, the second thing that gets in the way of sufferers of analysis paralysis is trust issues. They may not trust themselves to come through. They may not trust you to come through. For me, because I'm selling to these folks, it's absolutely critical that I am prepared to make an argument for why I can be trusted. It's also absolutely crucial that I communicate that the risk involved in working with me is less than you might imagine it to be. You need to be able to communicate that there are players inside this story, heroes inside this story who are fully qualified to create the change that's being discussed here. And my recommendation is make sure that they are included in that list of heroes. Make sure that they are one of the active players making things work, actively playing a role in creating the change that's being discussed here. Change doesn't happen by a single decision, but it can't happen without that decision getting made first. So I want to recommend that you zero in on that. Zero in on, in order for things to start getting better, we need to decide. We need to say yes to this so that this can happen, and this can happen, and this can happen, and we can get on this path to this better situation that we're already invested in. I want to recommend that the next time you find yourself dealing with someone who's suffering from analysis paralysis.